Welcome to the Woman Aesthetic Podcast. Join us in seeking deeper meaning and striving to live fully in our womanhood. Welcome to the Woman Aesthetic Podcast. I'm your host, Anna. I am excited for today's episode because not only do I have an in-studio guest, but my guest is Maria Bremerkamp. So Maria Bremerkamp has dedicated the past 14 years to serving in various ministerial roles. She currently serves as an affiliate-focused parish missionary at Immaculate Conception Catholic Church in St. Louis, Missouri. She is a mother to 5 young children, 8 and under, and she's married to Adam, who she met through Focus. So Maria and her husband are passionate about being a family on mission, and they work as a team to help build a culture of missionary discipleships in parishes that is accessible and repeatable no matter what phase of life you're in. So on a personal level, she finds great fulfillment in cherishing quality time with her family, going on adventurous outings, exploring thrift stores, and savoring a good cup of coffee. Maria, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
No, I'm really looking forward to this conversation. And as I was reading your bio, I was like, these are all the things I like to do. This is going to be great. This is going to be a good conversation.
Yes.
So I'm really excited. To start off, okay, I heard about you. So we have a mutual friend, and I heard about you through a mutual friend, and she didn't tell me who you were, but she told me about your guys' story of discernment. And honestly, it was one of those stories that I was like, wow, these are like stories you read about, because it's like you see the layout and you see the big yeses, and I'm sure you didn't see that,
right,
as you were going through it, because your story, it is kind of insane. You made big leaps, you said big yeses, faced really, really great opposition, and you have a family, and so like your whole family making these big yeses, and I don't know, I don't hear a lot of these type of stories. I'm sure they exist, but I wanted to have you on because I think it'll resonate with a lot of people who are going through discernment and maybe are struggling in it too. And I don't know. I know I struggle with discernment too. And we did talk about that a little bit. And so I'd love for you to just dive in. What sparked this whole journey of this big yes that eventually led, here? Like, what was the beginning? What was it?
Yeah. So, I think to start about 3 years ago when my husband and I heard a clear call to go back on mission. And it was right after parishes are starting to open up again. And
was this after COVID?
It was right after COVID.
Right after COVID. Okay.
Yeah. And so everybody was kind of just in a funk, I think, after being isolated for so long. And there was just this deep longing for community. And my husband and I, with our little kids, went back to Mass, and we were one of the only families with young children there. And he and I just saw this immense need for something to be done. And we began taking that to prayer, okay, Lord, is this something that you're asking us to do, to respond to in some way? And if it is, what are we supposed to do to help the need here, to welcome more families back to the church? And through discernment, through prayer and discernment, Adam and I heard a clear call to go back on mission. And it was one day during prayer, I was like, Lord, what is it? How can we reach these families? And I heard him say, do what you know. And the first thing that came to mind after I heard that in prayer was, I guess, focus, because that's what I knew. Yeah. But we were in a parish, not on a college campus. So I had no idea what that was going to look like, and or how to get started.
Because Focus is normally I don't know much about Focus, but is it normally on campuses? Is it not really in parish life? Is that?
Yeah. So they are primarily a college ministry, but actually just starting this year, they made it official, and they've been piloting parishes for the past several years. And this year is the first year that they are officially like doing parish missions as well.
Wow. And did you guys spearhead that?
No, I don't think so. No, they had people that were already like piloting it at several different parishes across the nation. So I think they're in 26 different parishes right now. Wow. And Immaculate Conception in Dardenne is one of them. Okay. And so we again just like started praying about, okay, Lord, like how do you do that then in a parish? Like how do we go about doing what we know as former Focus missionaries in a parish setting? And it was no coincidence that week Adam was invited to a men's group at our parish, and there were a lot of parish leaders that had been meeting for years. And they had invited the director of evangelization for the Columbus Diocese to come and speak at their meeting. And it was via Zoom. So there's still the Zoom meetings. But during that meeting, Focus came up. And one of my former mission partners was on the call and pointed Adam out and was like, hey, Adam used to be a missionary. And the director of evangelization was like, yeah, you know what? This group is great, but it's missing a component. It's missing the mission component. Like, you guys need to start like going out and making disciples. And in that, Adam was voluntold to start a small group for them.
Wow.
So Adam's like, sure, I'll lead you through one of the Focus studies that I know. And that's when the first small group at St. Vincent, my former parish, was born. Wow. Yeah. So during that time that he was leading that study, he just would come back and be like, this is amazing. Like, this is incredible. I'm just seeing like men twice my age, like encountering the Lord in a deep way and getting really excited about sharing their faith. He's like, would you consider doing a women's leader study? I was like, I don't know. I'm expecting my fourth kid. Like,
yeah, what a time to ask.
Right.
Like, when you're pregnant, you're like, I'm doing something right now.
Right.
Like,
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, my fourth, how I already feel like I'm drowning. Like, I don't think I can. And, again, I took it to prayer, and, God was like, I want you to do it. And I was like, Lord, why? Like, can't somebody else do this? Like, I'm a little busy here. Yeah. I have 4 kids, or 4, but the others were 3 and under.
Oh yeah.
Like,
you were busy.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm like, how could I possibly have time for this? And he was like, I want them to see. I want them to see, like,
your kids.
Yeah. And I want them to see, like, a family that's doing this. I'm like, okay, well, you're going to have to just, take care of everything. So we, I ended up inviting a group of women into a Bible study. And again, it was just like so exciting to see the fruit. While we were leading those groups, part of Focus's model is you equip people to then start their own small groups. So that way they can reach the people that they know and intentionally invest in them. And I, at the same time, was desiring to reach out to my peers. And I was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, it's time for me to start a small group for the people that I know who are my friends, who maybe, who could benefit from this and who need this community as much as I do. And so I started a peer mom, young mom, Bible study, and they quickly became my best friends. And we like did a lot of amazing things together. Like we would go on retreats together, and we would celebrate each other's new babies that were coming into the world.
Oh,
and
that's wonderful.
yeah, we just like had people, well, we had each other to run the race with.
Right.
And Adam saw that group and was like, I want to start something for the men. And like the husbands, I was like, yeah, do it. And so he spent some time praying and like put some guys on his heart. And again, we were just seeing like the fruit from this community. And not only that, but seeing their hearts then like ache for their friends. And a couple small groups started then for out of those groups as well. And so they began like reaching their friends that I didn't know, but like they easily could reach. So anyway, how that led us to here
Oh my goodness.
is we began seeing all this fruit, and it was kind of a baby step process. And God knew that I needed that first to see like how much was happening. And it was very intentional that he had us there, because those families like impacted us as well in a deep way. And at one of the retreats that my husband went on, he was in adoration, and he heard the Lord say, I want you to work for the church. And it struck him so much that he drove back at midnight. Woke me up and was like, I need to tell you what I just heard in prayer. And I was like, oh, geez, what was it? He's like, I'm supposed to work for the church. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to, it was so from the Lord.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he woke you up at midnight.
Yes, exactly.
Really, that's like that moment where you're like, okay, it's real.
And I'll never forget it. Like, he was so excited. And I was like, okay, well, did he say where, like, or how, or like what that looks like? And he's like, no. I'm like, okay, so this was about 2.5 years ago. I'm like, okay, well, let's start praying about it. And that's when like the meat of the discernment started for what led us ultimately here.
So if you could give like, because I think we all try and discern, and you guys have started like very clearly discerning, and God was telling you what to do. Like, what is discernment? You know, you can't make like, I guess you can make pros and cons list, or, you know, whatever, but there's more to it. Discernment isn't just like, let me pick the best option. You know, I think that's part of it, but what is that? And is this really for everyone, or is it God will call some people to something else, or should we be discerning every day? Like, what? Give me just like a little bit of that. So
no, great question. So discernment ultimately is doing the Lord's will for your life. And I think sometimes there's a misconception that there's like big times of discernment in our lives. Like, people think about their vocation. They're like, yeah, I really need to discern my vocation. Or if they're changing jobs or something like that. It's like these big things. I think people are more open to considering discernment, like so really consulting with the Lord. But it really is a daily thing. And I also think that there's a temptation to assume that in certain things we can just kind of do what we think is right, and that God will bless whatever decision that is. And of course, like that, like, he does do that. But I think he desires us to consult him in all things. And there are so many times now it's become so second nature. And for me, that like today I randomly received a free matcha from a coffee shop. They're like, hey, somebody didn't come pick this up, would you like it? And I was like, I mean, I'll take it. I'm not going to say no to that, but I just drank a giant drink. I don't need this. But literally, I got in the car and I was like, okay, Holy Spirit, who do you want this to go to? And as I was pulling into my my cul-de-sac, I was like, you know what? I'm going to call my neighbor. I think that this might bless her in some way. And she shared with me, she was like, wow, this is crazy. I was just talking to my 14-year-old and she was telling me how much she loves matcha lattes. And she's like, and she's dairy free. And you just said it has oat milk. Like she could totally have that.
What?
So like there's random little things that God presents us with. And he's like, yeah, I want to live this life with you. Like I want to experience adventure with you. And so it's we tend to like compartmentalize discernment, and we're like, okay, once I discern this, like I don't have to discern anything else. Like I've arrived. And I definitely fell into that trap or that temptation after we got married. Because that was such a big discernment was my vocation that I had been anticipating for so long. And I'm like, okay, I kind of had this subconscious, like I've arrived moment. And I really stopped like for a while actively consulting the Lord to be like, okay, what is your will for me still? Like, what else do you have in store for me each day?
Because God's like, buckle up. This is the beginning.
Right. It is the beginning. I know.
Beginning of this chapter.
Yes.
Here we go. Yeah. No, that's, Wow.
Yep. So, that is definitely like discernment is living out the Lord's will for your life.
Literally daily.
Yes,
like,
daily. Okay. Daily.
Imagine if we all did that every single day. Like,
right. I know.
Because you're talking about not only the big things, like you discern the little things. Even you're like, who does this coffee go to? Like, I would be like, me. What do you mean? I brought it home.
Yes.
But
Right.
no, you're right. Like, how much more fruitful would our life be, and how much more enriched would be the life of other people if we're, because God's gonna use that to have us serve other people, and I don't know, gosh, I mean, I've always been discerning, but but really, I am gonna start doing that because, I want to see that. I want to see Him act in other people's lives and my own life just through like the small things.
Yeah.
But
it's so adventurous.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean, your story is a complete testament. Yeah, absolutely.
And he totally meets us where we're at though, and I think like the more that we practice those little yeses, the more prepared we are for the big ones. And that is something that I've seen him like test me on a little bit. He's like, okay, are you going to say yes to this? Like, this is something I'm presenting you to that's a little bit uncomfortable, maybe. That is ultimately preparing me for a bigger yes later. And it does take some practice to like be obedient the way that Mary was. So that's something that I think about often, like during these times of discernment, are the lives of the saints and Mary, and just the ways that they gave their radical yes, and the crazy things that happened in their lives.
But I love like your story. You see the ebb and flow of your husband and you, and your husband and you, and eventually coming to this point where he wakes you up in the middle of the night. He's like, guess what? I'm going to serve the church. And you're like, okay, I know I've already been called. Like, it's not a little bit out of left field, but it's not out of left field of God asking something, because I've just been asked something and you've been asked something. And so what happened after that? Like he told you in the middle of the night, and then.
So we're like, okay, let's start knocking on doors. And that's kind of my favorite thing to do with the big discernment things where there isn't immediate clarity, is to just knock on doors and see which one's open. And that's what we began doing. And so we knew that it was something mission related. And so we started like reaching out to other apostolates that shared similar like that had a similar model to what we were we were doing and what we were passionate about, of like making missionary disciples and forming small groups. And so after knocking on several doors, like Focus's door kept opening. And I was like, oh, interesting. But not interesting, because also we are implementing Focus's model at our parish, so it kind of made sense. But there was definitely like a few crazy things that happened along the way that were confirmations. And whenever I'm in, I don't know, I often call it discernment mode. It's a very fancy term. But yeah, whenever I'm discerning, I ask the Lord to confirm it. And whatever it is that we think that we're supposed to be doing, it's like, okay, Lord, like, confirm it. And also make it very clear, because I am easily distracted and he knows I need it. So I'm like, you just got to really spell it out for me. And this time, like these past 2 years leading up to us moving here, I experienced like so many confirmations. It blew me away. And again, it was one of those times where I was like, it was so, I came to him multiple times and was like, are you sure that you want us to do this? And he was like, yes. And like speaking to me through, and my husband through like other people and circumstances, songs, like flowers. It's so many different things.
So with this, when you were discerning, when you were discerning, did you experience it like, because you experienced it like the yeses through other people, through flowers, things like that, which I'd love for you to share a couple stories if you don't mind. Yeah. But did you see it as God's gonna call you like out of nowhere, kind of like, you know, that midnight moment, or is it also like seeing talents that he has given you and that he's asking you to share with other people? Like, what was with those yeses? Like, was there a mix of that? Like, what? I'd love to just like hear that.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of a both and. Like, Adam and I both like we recognized these different like gifts that the Lord has given us and these different desires that he had placed on our heart, and a shared love of ours is mission. And like since we met as Focus missionaries, that was something that we were really passionate about, is doing ministry together. And so we are kind of noticing this about ourselves, that like our family really came more fully alive when we were doing ministry together. And we were just seeing like the fruit of us like becoming better parents, becoming better spouses, like and also just like having this beautiful community as well, like as a result of these yeses. But it was through us like paying attention to those desires and paying attention to those giftings that he had given us, like for evangelization and and just like communicating the gospel, that helped us to be attentive to the Lord's promptings within it. So yeah, it's definitely like a both and. Like he places those giftings and desires on your heart and like gives those to you, and then also wants us to like to sharpen those, because he's given them to us. Like he wants us to sharpen those skills. But then it was another like he called us to do it. So there was definitely a time after we got married that we weren't using those gifts and talents that he had given us. And we saw the stark contrast of when we were like activating them and allowing the Holy Spirit to like work through them. And
that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But can you share like one of like some of your big moments that you had?
Yeah. So Adam and I started feeling that restlessness because we're like, okay, Lord, what is it? What is it? What is it? And we weren't getting clarity. And we started going down like this path, like maybe we're supposed to start our own apostolate. And we talked to Focus for like over a year, just keeping the conversation going. And we talked to these other apostolates also. And doors started closing on the other ideas and apostolates. And it really was once we started seeing all of this fruit that was being born in this parish, we're like, okay, this is growing. And in order for it to continue to grow, like we're going to have to make some sacrifices. But also we had this desire to bring our children more into it and to also give an opportunity for the whole family to be invited in. And so this was our big dream that we started to pursue. And both my husband and I were like, yeah, like this is what the Holy Spirit is asking. And this is something that the church needs. And we saw the excitement of families that wanted to get involved in something like that. And to be able, we had seen like when the husband and the wife both got involved, like just how amazing that is. And I have the amazing gift of like being able to share my faith with my husband. And I just like want that for everyone.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I want to make this as accessible. Well, my husband and I wanted to make it as accessible as possible for the whole family to have an encounter with Christ and to have like that community. And to have, those hot coals, like running alongside them, like keeping them on fire in the faith, and giving a safe place for like men to meet with the men and wrestle with their tough questions and the things that they're struggling with. And then that space for the women to meet with the women and do the same thing, and have an opportunity for our kids to either go through formation or just be friends, because ultimately it's the parents' role to like pass on the faith to their children. And I'm like, if we focus our efforts on really like giving a safe space for encounter for both the husband and the wife, like what is going to happen in the church? Like this is what the church needs. And so that was a huge dream, and we started pursuing that in my hometown, and just came up against roadblock after roadblock after roadblock.
I could imagine. I think that's like part of. But I mean, I feel like not everybody deals with it in a great way. You know, it's like, oh God, whatever, you abandoned me, you know.
Right.
But
or maybe it's not the plan.
Or maybe it's not the plan, just because they gotta know.
Yes.
You know, but you got no's, like
we got a lot of
lot of closed doors, like you were saying. So
yes, we got a lot of no's, but the desire kept growing, and so we took that as, okay, Satan must not want this to happen.
He does that.
And so we're like, okay, we're just going to push harder and keep discerning, like, where do you want this, Lord? So one day I was praying on my back patio, and we lived on a 10-acre farm in Ohio, and I was just looking
dream
out.
life.
Oh my
Everybody
gosh.
wants a 10-acre farm.
It was dreamy. It was very dreamy, and it was like the perfect night, and I was sitting out there just like looking out and asking the Lord, like, okay, Lord, like you've placed this desire both on Adam and I's heart, like, and we see the need, and we've already seen like people who are desiring this, like where? Where do you want us to do this? And how? And like, we need space, because that was a huge issue, was we didn't have the space to host families. When you start inviting families, you need a lot of room. Right. And I saw a very vivid picture of like a huge, it was like a huge center, like a huge event center, building. And I was like, interesting. I'm like, and it was in our neighbor's field. And so I was like, all right, okay. Are we supposed to build that? And I came inside and I was like, Adam, I think we're supposed to build like an event center to host families to do this. And he's my practical guy. He's an engineer. Like,
Oh,
school for
gotcha.
engineering. Yeah. And so he's like, okay, how's that going to work? And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know, but I saw something. I was like, I saw a very vivid picture of this like event center. Like, what if we did that? And he was in project engineering, and so he like made a plan.
Of course.
Like,
Solved the problem,
sketching.
made a plan.
Yeah.
Like, totally man thing to do.
Yeah, he's like, let's sketch out, like, let's dream together about what this place could look like. And ironically, we felt called to reach out to Focus. And I was like, hey, do you guys want to build an event center in my backyard in Ohio?
Do you want to give me some more things to put on my
yes,
property?
right. I was like, by the way, I actually think we're supposed to build it in my neighbor's backyard, and their land is not for sale, but maybe we could buy some. Like, maybe we could, I don't know, the Lord can do whatever he wants. Like, maybe they'll be open to this. And so we talked about that. They humored me for several months. And, but when it came time to like the logistics, not on their end, but just like, in Ohio, it just wasn't, things were not working out, more closed doors. And I was just like, man, what am I going to do? And it just, the desire kept growing. And that was the thing, like with discernment. I often pray, like, Lord, if this is not from you, take it away. Like, take away this desire, keep shutting the doors. Like, but,
because I was going to say, sometimes we get these wants or I guess desires or things that we're pulled towards. And it's like, okay, is it me wanting it so badly that it's like, or is it the devil being like, hey, this is a great idea, or is it truly God? Like, I think sometimes it's hard to see. It's hard to see a clear picture when you're like in it.
Yes.
So that's like very interesting. You did experience that too.
Yes. Yeah. Because I was like, okay, if this isn't like from the Lord, then take this desire away and keep shutting the doors, because I don't want to do something that's not from God.
Actually, I never pray like that. I'm always like, open all the doors, show me which door. Like, never like close the doors.
Yes, no, because otherwise I'm like running in the wrong direction. It's like, good point. Here I go. Yes, God's like, this is not what I'm asking you to do.
Roadblocks, all these ways for you.
Yeah,
That is a good point though to prayer. Is like, you're saying, I'm open. And I think a lot of us pray like we're open. What do you want? We're not saying like take away. Yeah, that's scary to pray to take away.
Right?
Because it's like, what are you gonna take away?
I know.
Which in your case, I'm so sorry, but I mean, He's blessing you in a lot of ways. But
yeah. So we were like, okay, take it away or whatever you want, Lord. Like, we just want to do what you want. And so we like just continued to do what we were still doing, and we're still seeing a lot of fruit. And we're like, Lord, if this is what you want us to continue doing, like, we will do it. Sure. Like, of course, like, we love these people, and we love this community, and we'll make it work. But yeah, that tug and that restlessness just like grew and grew and grew. And we're like, well, maybe we'll start our own apostolate. And it was no coincidence that we both went on a retreat at Damascus Mission Campus in Ohio separately. And the title of the retreat was Surrendered.
Oh, wow.
And the whole weekend was centered around the Surrender Novena. And I was like, Lord, I'm totally surrendered. Like, I am being totally like open to whatever it is that you want to do. But throughout the weekend, he quickly revealed to me that I wasn't, that there are actually conditions that I had surrounding the surrender. And that was ultimately inhibiting us from seeing what he had in store. Mm-hmm. And through that weekend, I was wrestling with that a lot. And I'm like, okay, what are they? Like, show them to me. I want to see them because I don't want them to be there. And man, it was it was hard because they were really hard things that I had a tight grip on. And one of them was I didn't want to move. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I love it here. This is my hometown. This is like where I grew up. We have this community now, and we live on this 10-acre farm. Like,
no one wants
beautiful.
To get that.
Right. I'm like, we've got the homestead life, and like my parents are right down the road, and yeah. So I was like, I really don't want to move. And the whole time that we had been discerning, that condition was like overshadowing it. And so my heart wasn't truly open to the proposal that he had for us. Wow. And then the other condition I had was I wanted to not fundraise again.
Oh, wow.
And Adam was working as an engineer. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is something that we can do in addition to his job as an engineer. And I was like, and this is something we can do here. We can just keep doing it here. And so I was really pushing hard on the apostolates in the Columbus diocese. I was like, come on, like, we can make this work here. Yeah.
Negotiating with God.
Yeah, I was negotiating with God.
We all do it.
Yes, right? I know. And I'm like, man, but... and that made like the most logical sense in my head. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, yeah, why wouldn't we? Like, of course God wants this, because why wouldn't he? Why would he have Adam like give up this job that he loves, that's like providing so well for our family? And why would he ask us to move when like we have this 10-acre farm and we're going to live here forever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I made big assumptions on what God's plan was. Mm-hmm. And after he revealed that to me, there was a grieving that I had to go through, and that we had to go through, mm-hmm. and to just let go and to surrender those things. And after that retreat, I went to go pray a few days later, and I was praying with Luke 5, where Jesus calls the disciples out into the deep waters. And in that passage, he's like, you've been fishing close to shore. Like, now I'm going to be sending you out into the deep waters where there's going to be abundance of fruit. And wow. I read that verse, and just instantly I knew. I was like, oh no, you really are going to ask me to move. I'm like, no. And it hit me that like mm-hmm. the close to shore was my hometown. Mm-hmm. And the deep waters, I didn't know at the time where mm-hmm. he was going to send us, but I just knew it was going to be somewhere far away. Yeah. And that was scary to me to have to let go. And even so, I still was like, you know what? I don't think we have to sell our house though. I'm like, maybe, we'll move away, but like, we can just rent our house.
It's practical, right. Okay?
It's a good investment.
It's a good investment.
It's like, yeah. I don't have to sell this house. We can have both. Okay? We can have both. And, so we were trying to find renters, and we tried really, really hard. And again, the doors were not opening. Oh. They were just shutting and shutting and shutting. And I'm like, Lord, like, what do you want me to do with this house? And I heard him say two things. I heard him say, I want it to serve the church. I was like, well, then why are you asking us to move?
Yeah, you're like, we're doing this.
I know, right? Yeah. I'm like, and how? And then, and burn the ships. And I don't know if you've heard the story, but there's a story that actually my husband had shared with me like many, many months prior to mm-hmm. about a general who was settling in America, and he took several ships with him to come and like start a new life here. I wish I could remember his name. But anyway, the story goes that once they arrived, they were like, oh, this is terrible. We want to go back. And the general was just like, no, we're not going back. Like, we came here for a purpose. We're going to like see this through. And they just like kept trying to convince him to go back, and were like not trying at all to like start a new life there. And one night he told his like next in command, he's like, go burn the ships. And so he went out and burnt the ships, so they couldn't go back.
Oh my gosh.
And they had to like commit to being there. And when I heard that in prayer, I was like, oh no, like okay, like I can't even.
You can't justify that.
Yeah,
you know?
I can't keep this still. Like, I have to burn the ships. And as I was like praying through that, I'm like, I just need some more confirmation around that, Lord. And the song came on like the next time I got in the car.
Oh my goodness.
There's a song about it. I think it's Casting Crowns sings it. Anyway, but yeah, it came on the second I got in the car, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, like, I hear you.
Okay, so burn the ships. You didn't really know where you were supposed to land. Where did you think you were going to go from there?
Yeah, so after it became clear that we were supposed to go, shortly after we had a meeting with Focus with one of the parish missionaries, and as we were talking with him, he was like, hey, we have a proposition for you. Like, we have an idea of how you guys could work for us. And he was like, would you guys be open to serving as parish missionaries at Immaculate Conception in Dardenne Prairie in St. Louis? And right when he said that to us, Adam and I knew. We were like, that's it.
Wow.
That's it. And all that preparation and like detachment that God had been like revealing to us, it was just made like so clear in that invitation. And Adam and I were like, okay, we'll pray about it. But it was something that like deeply resonated, and we have a history in St. Louis. Like, Adam is from here. His family is here.
Oh, wow.
And we lived in Maryland Heights in St. Louis for the first 4 years that we were married. I served at Southeast Missouri State in Cape Girardeau, which is not far from St. Louis. And a lot of the girls that I used to mentor live in St. Louis. And so we had a lot of connections here. And it just felt like a very full circle moment. And seemed very clear. And it made sense. And that's something with discernment, too, is like when God makes the ask, it should be like simple, easy, and clear. He doesn't want us to always be guessing. Yeah. He makes his will known when it's time to hear the call. Like, he doesn't keep us guessing. And so it was that like simple, easy, clear moment. And Adam and I kept talking with him, and something else that was like further confirmation was, he's like, hey, you know that event center that you've been asking us about? He's like, we're actually considering possibly buying the Boeing training center in St. Louis and using it for like what you guys are excited about doing.
Oh my goodness.
Using it as like a center for evangelization. And I was like, what? Like, that is crazy, because I kind of let go of that part of my dream. I was like, I don't know if that's actually going to happen. But that was just like, oh man, this is crazy. And Focus didn't end up buying the Boeing Center, but the Augustine Institute did. And I kid you not, when I looked up pictures of the training center,
Mm-hmm.
it looked exactly like what I saw. Like the
Oh
main
my
building.
gosh. I'm like getting goosebumps.
I know.
Oh
The
my
main
God.
building looked exactly like what I saw.
Wow.
And they wrote an article in the Pillar about their hopes for the campus.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere in the article, Father Chris Martin said that they want it to be like a center of evangelization, and they want to like have opportunities to equip parish leaders there to evangelize. And that was just like something that resonated so deeply with us. And so that was a huge like God wink.
Yeah, wow.
And really like got us so excited because we're like, okay, this is it. Like, let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 days before we had to give focus, we already knew that we were supposed to say yes, but they gave us some time to just pray and make sure.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 days before we were supposed to give focus and answer, I found out I was pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, wow, perfect timing.
Oh my goodness.
And I literally said out loud, I was like, Lord, what are you doing? Like this timing is not super great. This means I'm going to be 8 months pregnant when we move. And, yeah, this was already a lot. Like now this is about to be, it's about to be intense.
Yeah.
And when I said that out loud, I heard the Lord say, like, I want you to name this baby Made Whole. And
Made whole?
Made Whole. I know.
Okay.
And at first I was like, surely you do not want me to name this baby Made Whole. It's like, it's kind of a weird name.
It's kind of a weird name.
Yes.
I mean, it is.
It is. I was like,
please tell me you named it something.
Yes, right. So I'm like, okay. Translation of Made Whole. Like, let's start there. And the translation of Made Whole is Emma. And I was like, oh, I love Emma. I'm like, okay, awesome. I'll name this baby Made Whole. So it was something like, yeah, that I held on to. And I was like, this, again, like the Lord is doing something new here. Like it felt like he was making a new covenant. Like he was making good on his promises. He's like, I'm going to make whole, like, these desires, and also give you a baby. And I'm sure that there's going to be like really cool things in her life surrounding that name.
I mean, what a cool story for her to be like, God spoke your name to, like, he spoke your name to me. He had your name written before you were even born. Like, that's a confirmation for her too. Like, that's, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Yeah, it was crazy. Also, something that played into the discernment as well was there was a time that I throughout the discernment that I did not obey obey what God was asking me to do. And he asked me to go to my neighbor's house and ask her for her property. And I was like, this surely is me.
I'm not gonna go do it.
I'm like, this surely is not from the Lord. That seems like very random. And there was just a tragedy over there at our neighbor's house. Her 2 sons were murdered. And he just like kept placing it on my heart to go to her. And I was afraid because it wasn't a good situation.
And you knew about it?
Yes.
Like,
And
okay.
I was honestly afraid. I was
Yeah.
like, this seems dangerous, and it was not a safe place to go the whole time we were living there. So I wrestled a lot with like, I don't think I should do this. And it never left. And I finally got the courage to go over there. But it took me a while. It took me like a month to respond. And when I finally went over there, nobody was coming to the door and stuff. And I found out a few days later that she had passed. And it was just that awful moment of like, Lord, I disobeyed you. Like, I didn't listen, and I didn't go, and I didn't respond when you asked me. And what I tell my kids is delayed obedience is disobedience. And I was like, that was one of those moments. And I started to like fall into despair. And the Lord was like, next time, listen to me. I was like, oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
But with that, I was like, okay, I will. Like, and I was like, and also, you're the Lord. Like, you can make good out of this. So redeem it, make it better, do whatever you wanted to come from that. Yes. Like, next time I'll say yes, but like do one better, like redeem it, totally redeem it in any way that you see fit. And I will say yes. So that's a little bit of backstory that I had like made that commitment to the Lord. And he taught me, like he allowed me to experience the sadness of not saying yes. And when I found out that I was pregnant and said made whole, so Emma, I looked up the next day. My husband's like, well, we name our kids after saints. So is there a Saint Emma? I was like, probably is. I looked it up, and sure enough, there is a Saint Emma, and she was married to Count Wilhelm, which was the last name of our neighbors. And
oh my goodness.
I know. And
also like a really... like a name you don't hear.
Yes.
Random name that would be
random. And you don't hear a lot about this saint.
No.
And her 2 sons were murdered. I know.
The saint?
Yes.
Oh
I know.
my goodness.
I know.
What?
I know. And so I was like, this is wild. Okay. This is so wild.
This is so crazy.
Yes. Yeah. And so that was another thing that was like, okay, so that like promise that you made to me, like now you're about to say yes. Like this is about to be that like fulfillment. This is about to be like me redeeming. It was the redemption. He's like was making it very obvious that he was about to ask me to do something again, and that he was asking me to do something. He wanted me to say yes. Wanted our family to say yes. So we said yes, and after that, like continued the surrender, and it ultimately just like really stretched us in trust. So our house did not sell right away, which was really hard because you can't move into a new house if you have an old house a lot of times. And he already told me to burn the ships.
You're like, I'm trying.
Yes, right. And but it just wasn't moving, and he was still telling me he wanted it to serve the church. I was like, okay, how do you want it to serve the church? And I ended up calling the real estate agent at the Columbus Diocese, and I was like, hey, do you know of any apostolates that could use a farmhouse in Mount Vernon? Because I know of one, and I feel like it's supposed to, or I keep hearing that it's supposed to serve the church, like in prayer. So let me know. And he was like, okay, I will. And some time passed, and I hadn't heard anything. And he called me back after a few weeks and was like, I'm really sorry. Like there isn't one. And I was like, oh man, bummer. But as we were talking, I was like, maybe we could do like a rent to own thing. Is there anybody who could do that? 'Cause we could try to be flexible and stuff. And he was like, actually, I just went to a meeting last night with an apostolate who's looking for a rent-to-own house with land.
Wow.
I was like, seriously? And so we set up a meeting with them that week, and when they came, they told us, they're like, this is exactly what we've been looking for. So our former house is now a hermitage for vacationing priests.
Wow. Oh my goodness. What?
So there was just like one confirmation after another. And Adam and I thought, you know what? With every big discernment, we like to do a Saint Therese novena. So
Okay.
why don't we throw that in there as well, and just pray this novena and just to be certain. And right after the novena ended, and again, this is like middle of winter, and we asked for red rose to stay, and red flowers to stay, pink flowers to move. And on like right after it ended, I had Bible study, and one of the gals that was in my study brought me a little gift, and all over the bag there were like pink flowers. And then in the bag was a bouquet of fake pink flowers. and it was my favorite flower too. It was a pink fake peony. And I was like, this is so
Oh my gosh.
random. But I instantly started crying, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, Lord, you are so good to me. Like, thank you, Saint Therese. Also, like, I have already received so much confirmation as it is now to like have even more. And she goes, you know what? It's funny. I wasn't going to put these flowers in there, but as I was leaving my house, they just caught my eye, and I was like, you know what? Those would be really pretty in Maria's house. And so I threw them in. And
oh my gosh.
I know. And then 2 days later, I went to lunch with a friend. And again, middle of winter, and she brings me a pink hyacinth.
What?
Just randomly.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And
What?
she's like, I bought a blue one and a pink one. And pink is my favorite color. And blue is actually my favorite color. So
Yeah.
But she's like, I was going to give you the blue one. And then at the last minute, I was like, you know what? She needs the pink one. And so she gave me the pink one.
Also crazy because these women followed the promptings from God to do
Yes.
this. Imagine if they didn't.
Right.
I
know.
It's so beautiful. And it's like
I
the
know.
simplest thing of like grabbing that, like, this would look pretty. Like she could have been like, too much trouble. You know, like
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So yeah, we love Saint Therese, and I mean her heart for missions and everything too. We're like, we've got to pray a novena, like, just to make sure, just to make double, triple sure that this is what we're supposed to do.
After all that, we still need clarity.
Yes,
I mean, that's all of us, though. We do that.
I know. Right. And yeah, me of little faith. I wasn't expecting like that response, but that was something that was just really beautiful and like so good. And they're both flowers that never die. And so one's a bulb and one's fake.
Wow.
And so it's just like a constant
forever.
reminder, of the promise that he made, and like,
Well, so through this whole discernment, I mean, we're hearing like you and your husband are discerning, but you have like an entire family, you know, thinking of like picking up and moving an entire family cross country, being like, God told me that's the reason, you know, like it doesn't, it sounds crazy to people who don't understand this. How did you involve your kids and encourage them and encourage them in this endeavor? I don't know if they also had received, you know, like some kind of a, because kids, I don't know, things with kids, you know, God does speak to kids too. But yeah, how did you involve your family? Yeah, so we didn't include them until we absolutely knew that this is what the Lord was calling us to, because we didn't, they're all 8 and under, and so we didn't want to like whip their heart around with something so big if it wasn't like absolutely, without us being absolutely certain that we were called to move. So when it was time to share with them, like, look, we're called to move, it was hard because, like you said, like they're so little, and we were totally like, everything in our life was about to change, and they had friends there and stuff, and this was the first time, like, as a family, that we had a little bit older kids that could comprehend what was happening. When we moved the first time, they were all so little that it wasn't the same. But as they were like processing and grieving, that was our opportunity to witness to them of like what radical trust looks like. And
something that we have said to them still is that when God asks you to do something, you do it because he knows what's best for us. And like, he's a loving father, and he knows more than we do. And even though this is hard, like, he asks us to do hard things sometimes, but it's always worth it. And so just like instilling that in them, I think was really, really important. And we didn't want to miss out on that opportunity to like teach them that when God asks you to do something, even though it doesn't make logical sense, like, you say yes, because he knows what's best for you, and he knows the bigger picture. And even if it's hard, it's worth it. It's totally worth it because of what is about to take place, and that those hardships like can be used for his glory. And that life is an adventure too. Like, we really emphasize, like, this is going to be an adventure. Like, following the Lord is an adventure. But there was definitely like a grieving for the whole family. Like, it still was hard. And so to share in that and to help them see, like, it's okay to be sad about this. Like, it's okay to grieve. But like, we're going to make this sacrifice and do this hard thing because this is what the Lord is asking of us. So
how long have you guys now been here?
So we've been here for 5 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And are they excited, or is it still getting into it?
So it depends on the kid.
Okay,
I mean, they all miss things about Ohio, like their friends, and just like, I miss my friends and and our family and stuff like that. But that there's still like that tender, like, homesick that they're feeling. But they see like how God has provided for us here and has taken care of us so far, and they see the good that is coming from us being here. And so there's that like hope, I guess, that we're all sharing in as a family. And we really like, we really try to include them in what we're doing as much as possible. And so to help them see, like, look, you play a vital role in this, because like, we're trying to reach families, and those families have kids, and you get to like be a witness to those kids and like be a good friend to those kids. And and so that has like helped them be excited too.
Oh, that is like really just, it just like warms my heart, because, well, this is not at all the same, but I remember I met Jen Fulweiler. Goodness.
Yes.
Late November. And I asked her, because she's like doing, comedy and things like that. And I asked her, like, very much out and about kind of thing. And I think her kids might be older. I don't really know the ages. But I asked her, how do you balance that, like, with life and kids and things like that? Because I'm thinking, like, for this podcast, how do I balance my life, my kids, and this? And she said, include them. I was like, oh. I mean, they naturally want to be included. It's funny. They have their own, like, mini podcast. It's funny.
So cute.
It's so cute.
That's so cute.
But she's like, include them. Like, share the hard work. Let them see you prepping for it. Let them see you, I don't know, share with them the highs, the lows. If something's not going well, explain it to them. And, like, again, like you said, like, witness to them that you're giving it to God. He's going to show you the way. It's not something that's just on you. Life is not just on you, and you're limited. So, and they'll see the success. They'll see whatever the good things that are going to happen. And I don't know. I was just, I think anytime we cut our family out of whatever we're doing, it's just, it doesn't work. Like, it doesn't work. It's just not going to work. God wants everybody together. And I think that's insane. Like, your kids are part of this mission. Like, that's just, that's so wonderful. Did you ever have, like, any kind of, I think with anything really big, you get spiritual warfare. Like, there's just no way that you don't. Because if the devil can't stop you with the everyday hard things because you've given them to God. He's gonna attack you in other ways. Did you experience anything like that?
Yeah. So I think one way that I experienced attack was through like fears of hurting the kids. And like, I think that was a common lie that would creep in of like, I don't want to inflict suffering on them. Like, I don't want to see them suffer. And so, the doubts would come in mostly around that of being like, okay, well, I think it's just a temptation sometimes. And it was for me to be like, well, I can't take them away from their friends and their community and everything. Like, I don't want to see them experience this hurt. So I want to protect them. But ultimately, the Lord broke through and was like, I love them more than you do. And
it's such a good reminder where you're like, of course, like,
right.
Gosh.
Yes. Yeah. He's like, I love them more than you do. And if I'm calling your family to do this, of course I'm going to take care of them. Like and I know what's best for them, like more than you do.
Yeah.
And so where I wanted to just back up and be like, okay, you know what? This is going to be too hard. This is going to hurt them too much. I don't want to do this anymore. He was like, no, like you need to entrust them to me. Like I am their dad first and foremost. And like, let me take care of them and take care of you. And I had to surrender that lie and combat that lie and replace it with the truth that the lie was that if he was calling me to something, like it was going to hurt our children. And ultimately he revealed like, no, it's going to like better them and better your whole family. Like it's going to bring your family more fully alive. Like if you fully trust me, if Adam and I fully trust him, like it's going to be what's best for all of us.
Yeah.
So that really helped and to like overcome that, to be able to give that full yes. And then also, man, we just experienced all sorts of like random things. Like we received a lot of pushback from family and friends, and a lot of it was out of love. Like they didn't want to see us go. And but we had to combat the like the doubts that they were experiencing which were, I mean, they really did resonate with doubts that we were experiencing also, but we had to like continuously look to the confirmations, look to what we were hearing in prayer, and not let our fears and their fears like cloud our discernment. So that was something. And then we also had some health stuff with one of our kids who she just had this like really crazy rash that would not go away. And we were receiving the diagnosis of whether or not it was this like kind of autoimmune rash or cancer.
Wow.
And it was like, it could either be one of those two things, which they both are terrible, but obviously there's one that's worse than the other. And I'm like, oh Lord, like this is something that just seems so heavy. And I was already like, just going through a lot of
probably overloaded with like
a lot of life changes and stuff, and to be able to like continue on with that looming in the balance was really scary. And the day that Adam left to go to St. Louis, we received the call, and praise God, it wasn't cancer. It was this other
oh my gosh, thank
really
goodness.
rare thing that is more like manageable for sure. And so
also, you're coming in St. Louis, and it has the best children's hospitals.
I
know.
I
mean,
know.
How incredible.
Yes. So yeah, he would take care of us regardless.
Yeah.
But
When you were talking about hearing God's like talk to you, hearing God say something, what was that like? Because I think for a lot of people, and I know myself included, I shouldn't say for a lot of people, I should just speak for myself. Hearing people say like, oh, God told me this. And I'm like, how do you hear it so clearly? I think there's probably one time that I can think of that I'm like, I know God told me, but it wasn't like I heard it, like I knew it in my soul, which is like, still you say, I know God told me, but you can't explain it. Like I knew it was a male voice. Like I knew a male voice in my soul telling me something. And I don't know, like how was it for you?
Yeah. So first and foremost, like after we got married, we struggled a lot as a couple, like fitting in daily prayer. And I think a lot of like new parents and just like families in general, like that is really, really hard to be disciplined, to be like, okay, we need to have a daily prayer time where it's quiet.
Yeah. That's a lot to ask with the family. It really is.
It is. And so it really started there.
Okay.
Because I was in a time of desolation for a long time where I wasn't hearing the Lord clearly, and it was really, really hard. But my prayer time was really struggling, and I was believing the lies of like, oh, well, like I have young kids right now. I don't have time to pray. So I'll just like motherhood will be my prayer. But there wasn't a whole lot of listening going on. And honestly, like I wasn't accepting the graces that he wanted to like pour out on me, because I was just like head down, power through, like we got to do this mom thing until I drop. And it wasn't until Adam and I were like, we need to recommit to daily prayer. We need to wake up before the kids wake up, do the hard thing. And like, and like my prayer times aren't always like this, like super duper, like fruitful, receiving like prophetic words and stuff like that. But there was a direct correlation to like when we put aside the time to when I started like hearing the Lord more. And I think like what you said with like hearing it deep in your soul, like a lot of times we anticipate or we think that we are going to hear like a really loud voice. But it is, it's often like a thought. And,
but it's not from like, it's not yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, like with discernment there, because sometimes when you hear something, you have to discern, was that me? Was that the Lord? Was that the world? Was that Satan? Like, what was that? Where was that coming from? Yeah. And so if you think it was from the Lord, then asking for those confirmations is a way to like, confirm that it was indeed him.
Did you eventually feel like through that process, it sharpened your recognition where you would know and you could respond? And
totally.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. Totally. And you just become more attentive and recognize it. And I think so often like the Lord is speaking to us, but we discredit it.
I get that all the time.
We're like, that
honestly,
wasn't him.
I can just 100% honest. Yeah.
Right? And I have totally, I still like have those moments where I'm like, that was just me.
I don't need to do that. That was just me.
Yes. Yep. But there are like crazy things that he asks us to do. And I think taking more of those promptings seriously and being like, oh, that was an interesting thought. Like maybe we explore that a little bit and take it to prayer and just like sit quietly with it and like go to scripture and do like Lectio Divina. That's a type of prayer that like really fosters like hearing the Lord's voice. It does. It helps sharpen that tool in the toolbox of being like more attentive to him.
Yeah. Oh, when you were like as I was asking the question, you were like, yes, for sure. And I immediately thought, the Lord will know his beloved. Like he will know, because you create that relationship, and it will mirror, the relationship between Mary and Jesus, where it's like heart speaking to heart. Like you'll know, and he'll ask bigger things, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think your story and just like you experiencing that, like, no, that does happen and it has happened, and I'm here because of it. My family's here because of it. And
yeah.
Well, Maria, honestly, like, I can't wait to see what you guys do. Like, you've only been here 5 months.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know. I just can't wait to just see what your family does for the community, and how I hope the community just fills your family life, I don't know, right back. And I do want to say, I ask all my guests this before we wrap up. If you could give women one piece of advice, it could be, anything, discernment or whatever we've talked about today, or it could be something completely different that's just kind of been on your heart that you wish women knew, what would it be?
I think it would be that, like, God has a good plan for you. Like, he says it in Jeremiah 29:11, like, I know the plans I have for you, plans like plans to prosper, not for woe, plans to give you hope in a future. And he wants to, like, take you on an adventure. Like, he has good things in store for you, and it doesn't always mean that it's going to be easy, and it doesn't always mean that it's going to make logical sense.
Yeah.
But he will take care of you, and it's like all for his glory, and like, we're made for heaven anyway, so like might as well go big and follow him hard here. Like,
yes, go big or go home.
Go big or go home. And so, yeah, just like, don't be afraid to trust in him, and to and especially like moms with young kids, like, you can entrust your little ones to him, and like, if he's calling you to something, like, don't be afraid that it's going to hurt your children in some way. Because if he's calling you and your family to do this, like, it's going to be what's best for them too, even if it's hard for them. And it might be preparing them to say yes when the call comes for them, and they'll be like, you know what, my parents, like, they said yes at one time, that it was really hard. And like, ultimately that's what we want for our kids, right? To follow the Lord. And to become saints. And so it's like, let's use this time to radically abandon ourselves to Christ, and to follow him, and just like trust him fully with our lives, and our families.
Well, Maria, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us. And I think it gave all of us hope that we all have a future. And sometimes if we just let God take care of it, it's going to be bigger. It's going to be more exciting than just our own, like, limited plan. So I don't know. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing that with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And thank you so much for listening to the Women Aesthetic Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend or a loved one. And I would be honored if you would subscribe and leave me a review or a comment. And until next time.